Oh, dead ringer for love for my coffin plane. Well, you see, hand planes, yes. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And something that you should not be doing. Now, I've been watching videos online, as you do, because you got a YouTube channel, what's what other people up to as well, don't you? And there's some really good YouTubers out there, such as Paul Sellers and people like that. You know, good, solid advice. But no, you're here, aren't you? Anyway, I hope to elaborate on something that drove me absolutely bonkers when I was watching somebody smoothing a piece of wood with a low-angle block plane, such as this one here. And they had a lovely workshop, they had all the tools and stuff like that, but they chose a low-angle block plane. I want to explain to you why you should not do that, but also why we have a chip breaker on our plane irons. Now, I have talked about this before about the chip breaker, but I don't know if it's clearly understood what it does and how important it is with a traditional bench plane like this one, or even this old coffin plane, which I do use quite a lot actually. Now, the chip breaker has a job to do. Now, allow me to show you on my blackboard. Okay, all right, children. Can you hear me in the back? Well, the chip breaker, what does it actually do? Well, the chip breaker breaks the fibres of the actual shaving that you're creating. It's actually really important. It's a very important task if you are going to produce a good finish. Now, as you can see here, with this chip breaker on this plane iron, which is a bevel down, is breaking the fibres of this shaving, creating a curly shaving, all right? There's more to this video than just a curly shaving, just so you know. I will demonstrate as well. Now, without that chip breaker, breaking that shaving off there, what will happen is it will split the fibres or split down the grain, like we're putting a wedge, like you're putting a wedge to split a log. That's effectively what you end up doing here if you don't have a chip breaker on a bevel down type plane. Now, if the bevel is up, like a low angle block plane, it will behave as a chip breaker. The actual bevel itself does, you see, but it's not very efficient as a chip breaker because the angle's all wrong, because we've set the actual plane iron in one of these low angle block planes like this one so low. And this is an actual low angle block plane when you add the angle of the grind and the angle of the bed. Unlike some low angle block planes, such as my Stanley, my record one, that's up there, so this is a Stanley, which isn't particularly low. Because when you add the two together, it's not much, it's only about 2-3 degrees different to the smoothing plane. So 45 degrees, you see. Now, why is that a problem? Well, allow me to show you what I mean and why it is an issue. Now, I've got a piece of wood in here, all right? Now, if, for instance, I plane along the grain with this little low-angle block plane, and it is sharp, or sharpish, sharp enough to demonstrate this, and then I'm going to draw over the top of it, you know, colour it in with some blue chalk. Not any old chalk, will do. It has to be blue, okay? Red, white and blue maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to do a few strokes with this little Stanley block plane, low angle block plane. The mouth is it's closed up, but not fully closed up. And it sort of represents very similar to what we've got here on the Stanley smoothing plane here, this Bailey. So allow me just to take a few shavings with this block plane. Allow me to tighten my voice up. Right, so I'm going to do a few shavings along here with this block plane. That's not a bit too... All right, that's better. All right, for a start, it's not doing a very good job. I can see it from here. Right, so I think I've taken off enough to get rid of whatever was there before. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour that in with this pencil. Crayon. Chalk. With this chalk, not crayon, chalk. So we're going to colour it in on here. And if you look at the actual colouring in, ignore some of the long bits on there because that's where the edges of the plane are. But it's very textured, okay? And the reason for that is I can see it here, especially on this end. Well, I'll take shavings off here. More so here because we're going against the grain here. you can see that there's a lot of texture there, all right? Now, the low angle of the plain iron is splitting the fibres, not breaking them. And why is that a problem? Well, think of this being all your little fibres, okay, in your grain of your piece of wood. Now, as you push your plain iron in at a relatively high angle, okay, say 45 degrees, getting there in a minute, it'll actually break all the fibres and create a curly shaving, okay? All right? But if you go lower, get back in there, don't matter where I am, back there, it will try and split the actual fibres, yeah? Past the end of the actual blade itself, the plain iron, okay, causing a split. Those fibres have not been broken. That split will continue and cause tear out on your piece of wood. It also makes your plane judder a bit as well. But if you have it higher up, it will snap and break all those little fibres. Okay, let me just, I think I've demonstrated on here as well, actually. See, we've got the, yeah. So that one's beveled down though, but it's trying to split along the fibres of the grain, the actual grain itself, and not actually break the fibres off. And that creates a bit of a textured finish, which isn't ideal. By the way, I have carpal tunnel syndrome, so I do drop things. I have had the operation in both hands actually, but it's about 10 years ago now, and it's I think it's coming back. So let's level it off again. Let's give it another go. Let's make sure we get that plain iron a little bit flat. See, these planes, these little block planes like this, aren't designed for playing along the grain. They're designed for cutting the grain off, such as doing the end grain. I don't know, let's say for instance you're doing a shoulder or something, even across the grain like that. They're ideal for that, but not along the grain. Across the grain, not a problem, not at all. But it's going to follow, the split is going to follow the grain. So as you go along here like so, from here, let's see if I can show you so you can actually see it. Because I'm looking at the texture of the grain here, and I can see it. I can see in the surface, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, there's actual texture, like it's tearing out the fibres of the actual wood itself. I'll go a bit lighter with a pencil, maybe I can show pencil with a chalk. So I'll go a bit lighter with the chalk, might be a bit more obvious. Alright, and just wipe it off. Yeah, you can see the texture. There's a lot of texture. It's a bit harder, let's do it that way. Yeah, definitely texture. Alright, now let's do it with the actual smoothing plane. I'm going against the grain as well, which obviously can help. But the smoothing plane, I bet you, will do a better job. I know that, because I obviously tested this already. Alright, I suspected it, and I could see it when I was using the little block plane earlier, just to test it, because I was watching these people, hang on, you don't do that, and they were, so yeah, just to prove it to myself, yeah, that creates a bit of a shitty finish, so I thought I'd make a video about it. So if I'm using this smoothing plane, oh god, it sounds so much better as well, doesn't it? So much better. And now I'm looking at the actual finish on here. It is much better. Let's see what happens now. Oh crikey, so let's try and show you. I go across here with the chalk, like so, and I wipe that off. I don't know if you can see that's more uniform, apart from where I didn't put the chalk. Let's do the same all over. Yeah, there we go. And then wipe that off. Yeah, it's in here, what we're looking at here. It's more covered, isn't it? Because it's smoother. With the block plane, it has a texture. Remember that end there was with the block plane. It's got a hell of a texture to it. So it doesn't produce such a great finish. Oh, my dear missus, what's up, my darling? What you got? Okay, would you like to put them over there? This is for a treat for you guys later in a future video. All right, but she's going to put them over. Yeah, that's my colour. Ooh. Oh, crikey, that is as well. Oh, lovely. Oh, I can't wait. Which colour? Oh, any, all. I might make multiple videos. Anyway, are you curious? Are you intrigued? Yes, I've got a video idea for you. And the wife's closet has provided the goods. Anyway, you'll have to wait. So the moral story here is that obviously the plain irons are lower. So that creates a bit of a problem. And with a 45 degree, it creates a much nicer finish. Some planes are 50 degrees. You can, like for instance, the Lee Nielsen's, I believe you can get a second frog, and also with the Cliftons, you can get a second frog. So the bed angle's different. So it's a 45 or 50 degree. This is a 45. It was actually 45, 44 and a half, this one is, because I've checked it. Whereas this thing here, with adding all the bevels together and stuff, it's 23. It's about 23 or 28 degrees. I think it's something like that. It's much lower, and it's great for doing end grain. After all, that's what it's designed to do. You see, it's what it's for. It's not designed to be cutting along the grain. No, so you've got to use the right tool for the right job. Now, let's say, for instance, well, I can't afford to buy all these tools, and I understand that. I've collected my tools, over many years, and it's when you work on a job, a certain amount of money goes back into your tools, don't it? That's what it's like. If you're self-employed, what have you, you invest in your equipment. Now, for me, it was hand planes and stuff like that. Always has been. If, for instance, you can't afford to get a block plane and you can't afford to get multiple hand planes, what have you, you just want to buy one plane, get yourself not the number 4, such as a smoothing plane, because this is not really designed for anything other than smoothing, because the way we sharpen the plane iron, we put a slight camber on it. Get yourself a number 5 plane, hand plane, such as Stanley Bailey number 5. They are slightly longer. Okay, let me show you. I'll go and get one for you. Okay, well, actually, that is the number 5 as well. That's a jack plane. Okay. Oh, hang on, got one just here. This ideal one. There we go. This is a Stanley Bailey, which I've pimped up. It's new totes and stuff like that. Totes and knobs. And I actually love using this plane. This is one that used to be my father's, and there's a video on the channel me restoring this, and that's what I'd recommend you get. A number 5. If you can get a 5.5, which is 2.5 inches, it's a wider plane iron. Get that. It's even better, but it's a good all-rounder. So if you want to joint the boards, that's what you could do that with that hand plane. If you want to smooth your boards, you could do it with that hand plane. But also get yourself a second plane iron. Not 2 planes, a second plane iron. So you could do away with buying that one. You could just get away with buying this one. But with the second plane iron, you have that sharpened as though with a slight camber, as though you would do for a smoothing plane. That's what I would do. And then it's one plane. And this will probably do virtually everything you need to do, whether you're using a shooting board, absolutely perfect. It's big enough to be comfortable for a shooting board. If you want a true edge of a board, you can do that with a number 5. Okay, a longer plane is better, but a number 5 will definitely do it. A smoothing plane is a bit, plus with a camber in the plane iron, it can put a bit of a camber in your joint, which is not what you want, though. So that's what I'd recommend. So if you're going to buy one plane, get the number 5. That's what I would say, or 5.5. So I hope I explained that. I hope I did anyway. Why you mustn't or shouldn't really use your little block plane with its low angle to plane the surface of a board along the grain. Now, sometimes with a smoothing plane even, or a jack plane, or any plane, when you smooth, you're running across the top of the board, if you get across some grain that's going in both directions, like around a knot or something like that, well, then you're going to have issues. You're not going to get away from that anyway. You'd have to go from one direction and then from the other direction, and you might cause a bit of a problem in this area. But then get yourself a little card scraper, and then you'll be able to just clean that up, or just sand it, until you're satisfied it's a good job. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. And I hope you're looking forward to my extracurriculum videos that will be uploaded shortly. Anyway, toodaloo. Please click the old like button though, wouldn't you? Maybe that bell icon, because then you get a warm buzz in your pocket every time I upload another video, Yeah. Toodaloo. And have a lovely evening. Or day. Or whatever, whenever you watch this video. Anyway, just enjoy yourself. Enjoy life.